The slap echoed like a gunshot in the cramped kitchen of their sagging ranch house on the edge of Elmwood, Illinois, a town where cornfields whispered secrets to the wind and Sundays meant church potlucks laced with judgment. Connor's cheek burned hotter than the shame flooding his veins as his mother's handprint bloomed red against his pale skin. "You're no son of mine," she hissed, her voice cracking like dry earth under drought, eyes wild with a fury that had simmered unspoken since Dad's casket was lowered into the frozen ground 2 years back. He stumbled backward, the linoleum cold under his boots, tasting blood where his lip split against his teeth. "Mom, please, I can't hide it anymore. I love him. I love who I am." But the words dissolved into the slam of the screen door, the lock clicking like a final verdict from some backwoods jury. Outside, the November chill clawed at him as he collapsed onto the porch steps, the first fat snowflakes melting into his tears. 24 years in this Bible belt trap, and it all shattered in one breath. Connor Hale, barista by day, dreamer by night, had finally cracked open his chest, only for the world to stomp on his heart. Connor didn't remember driving. The old Ford pickup, Dad's hand-me-down, with its rusted fenders and a radio stuck on classic country, ate up the miles from Elmwood to Chicago like it was starving. Headlights sliced through the gathering dusk on I-55, but his vision blurred with salt and regret. What now? Crash on a cousin's couch in the city? Swallow his pride and beg for the night shift at the diner back home? No. He couldn't go back. Not with her words carving into him. Freak. Abomination. Just like your father was too weak to admit. By the time the skyline loomed, those jagged teeth of glass and steel biting the bruised sky, it was full dark. Connor pulled into a sketchy lot off Halstead Street, the kind where shadows hustled and neon buzzed like angry hornets. Boys Town. He'd heard the name whispered in high school locker rooms, laced with sneers or envy, depending on the teller. Now, it was his lifeline, or at least a place to drown the ache. He wandered into Steamworks, a dive bar pulsing with bass that rattled his ribs. The air was thick with sweat, cologne, and the faint tang of spilled whiskey, bodies grinding under strobing lights, laughter sharp as broken glass. Connor nursed a cheap beer at the Scarred Oak Bar, his flannel shirt untucked to hide the tremble in his hands. He wasn't here to hook up, he just needed noise to smother the silence in his head. That's when Zachary slid onto the stool beside him. Tall, lean as a whipcord, with ink-black hair falling into eyes the color of Lake Michigan on a stormy day. A faded Ramones tee clung to his chest, tattoos snaking up his forearms like rivers on a map, stories etched in black and gray. Rough night, Zachary's voice cut through the din, low and gravelly, with that south side edge that said he'd seen his share of Chicago's underbelly. Connor glanced up, startled. Up close, Zachary was all sharp angles and quiet intensity, an acoustic guitar case propped against the bar like a loyal dog. You could say that. His own voice came out thinner than he'd meant, cracked around the edges. Zachary signaled the bartender for 2 shots of Jameson. Then here's to forgetting. Or at least pretending. He slid one over, clinking glasses without asking. The burn down Connor's throat was a mercy, fire chasing the ice in his gut. They talked, or rather, Zachary talked, spinning yarns about gigs in smoky clubs, busking on the L during rush hour, and the time he got chased out of Wrigleyville by a pack of drunk Cubs fans for covering Springsteen too soulfully. Connor listened, mesmerized. Zachary Kane, 26, transplant from a Rust Belt nowhere like his own, chasing melodies in a city that chewed up dreamers. Music's the only thing that doesn't lie, Zachary said, fingers drumming the bar top in an absent rhythm. People? They bail when shit gets real. Tell me about it. Connor's laugh was bitter, but Zachary's gaze held no pity, just a nod that said I get it. By last call, they'd swapped numbers, and Connor found himself spilling fragments. The dead dad, the small-town suffocation, the coming out that blew up like a grenade. Family's overrated, Zachary murmured as they stepped into the biting wind. Snow dusted the sidewalks, turning Boys Town into a gritty winter wonderland. But you? Sounds like you got fight in you. Hail. Don't let 'em snuff it out. They parted with a fist bump that lingered a beat too long, Zachary's knuckles rough against his. Connor drove to a Fleabag motel off Belmont, crashing on a lumpy mattress that smelled of stale smoke and regret. But for the first time since the slap, sleep came easy, laced with the ghost of whiskey and a stranger's crooked smile. The next week blurred into a grind. Connor landed a gig at the Brew Haven, a hipster coffee joint in Wicker Park, pouring lattes for trust fund kids in ironic beanies, steaming milk until his arms ached. The city was a beast, subways rattling like tin cans, horns blaring symphonies of chaos, street vendors hawking deep dish slices that weighed a pound. He loved it, hated it, needed it. It was alive, unlike Elmwood's slow rot. Zachary texted sporadically, "Gig tonight at Empty Bottle. Bring your ears." Connor went. The club was a sweatbox, amps humming like angry bees, Zachary on stage with his beat-up Stratocaster, voice raw as barbed wire over chords that twisted your heart. He sang of lost boys and midnight confessions, eyes locking on Connor in the crowd like a beacon. Afterward, beers on the curb, knees brushing accidental on purpose. "Your trouble," Connor said one night, after Zachary kissed him, fierce and unapologetic, against the brick wall of a taqueria, the taste of chorizo and lime on his lips. Zachary grinned, teeth flashing white in the sodium glow. The best kind, and just like that, they tumbled into something real. Weekends tangled in Zachary's walk-up in Logan Square, a third-floor walk-up with peeling wallpaper and a view of the L train screeching by. Mornings meant lazy coffee, Zachary strumming half-songs while Connor sketched logos on napkins, his old hobby from community college art classes. They fucked like it was salvation, slow and deep one dawn, urgent and bruising the next storm-swept night. Zachary's hands mapped Connor's body like sheet music, coaxing notes of gasps and moans that built to crescendos neither had known they craved. But cracks spiderwebbed under the surface. Connor's phone stayed silent from home. No calls, no texts from Mom. He'd left his number scribbled on the fridge magnet. A Hail Mary plea, call if you change your mind. I love you. Nothing. Holidays loomed like thunderheads. Thanksgiving specials on TV mocked him with turkey and forced smiles. Zachary noticed the shadows under his eyes, the way he'd zone out mid-conversation. Talk to me, Con. They were sprawled on a threadbare couch. Take out low main cooling on the coffee table. Some indie flick flickering ignored on the laptop. Zachary's head in his lap, fingers tracing lazy circles on Connor's thigh. It's stupid. Connor stared at the ceiling cracks, mapping constellations in the plaster. Just her. The house. Dad's old recliner still creaking in the living room. Feels like I left a limb behind. Not stupid. Family shit's a mindfuck. Zachary sat up, pulling Connor into his chest. Solid, warm, smelling of patchouli and guitar strings. You think she'd listen if you went back? Show her this. He gestured between them, thumb brushing Connor's jaw. Connor snorted. Doubt it. She'd probably pray the gay away with holy water and a side of casserole. But the seed planted. What if he drove back, swallowed the pride, begged for scraps of forgiveness? Zachary's eyes held that fierce light, the one that said you're worth fighting for. Winter deepened, Chicago's bite turning feral. They bundled against it, scarves wound tight, mittens clasping as they ice skated at Millennium Park. Zachary's laugh booming when Connor faceplanted on the rink. Christmas time. They strung dollar store lights in the apartment, Zachary belting off-key carols while Connor baked gingerbread men that came out lopsided but sweet. For a stolen season, it was enough. Love, messy and magnificent, stitched Connor's frayed edges. Then came the call. Late January, phone buzzing like a hornet on the nightstand. Unknown number, Illinois area code. Connor's heart jackhammered as he answered, voice thick with sleep. Hail residence. Connor? It's Aunt Rita, Mom's sister, the one who'd always slipped him 20s at family barbecues. Her tone was all wrong, hushed, edged with tears. It's your mom. She fell. Hip fracture. Doctors say it's bad. Can you come? The world tilted. Zachary stirred beside him, hand on his back as Connor stammered promises. By dawn, he was packed, keys in hand. Zachary insisted on driving, his beat-up Honda Civic a far cry from the truck, but steady. The 5-hour haul south was agony, snow-slick roads mirroring the slush in Connor's gut. What if she sent him away again? What if this was the universe's cruel joke? Reel him in just to gut him. Elmwood hadn't changed. Same faded welcome sign, same clabbered houses hunkered against the prairie wind. The hospital smelled of bleach and despair, fluorescent hum underscoring the squeak of nurses' shoes. Mom lay in a sterile bed, leg in a cast, face gaunt under the thin blanket. Tubes snaked from her arm. Monitors beeped a monotonous dirge. Aunt Rita hovered, eyes red-rimmed, squeezing Connor's shoulder like an anchor. She woke slow, gaze sharpening on him, wary, wounded. You came. Course I did. He perched on the plastic chair, hands twisting in his lap. The air thickened, unspoken accusations hanging heavy. How are you feeling? Like hell warmed over, a ghost of a smile. Then it crumbled. Connor. About before. I was angry. Scared. Your father, she trailed off, staring at the four-drip. Dad's shadow loomed, the unspoken truth of his accident, the bottle of pills, the garage exhaust that no one named aloud. It's okay, Mom. I get it. Lies, but soft ones. He wanted to scream. You threw me away for being me, but the words stuck. Instead, they talked weather, Rita's new grandbaby, the neighbor's yapping dog. Neutral ground, mined with what-ifs. Discharge came quick, home health aid, pain meds, a walker that clacked like judgment. Connor stayed a week, crashing on the couch, cooking canned soup and folding laundry scented with her lavender detergent. Zachary called nightly, voice a lifeline. You're a saint, man. Miss your ugly mug. It was fragile peace, but peace nonetheless. Mom didn't mention it, the confession, the rejection. Didn't ask about Chicago, or the man whose texts lit up Connor's phone. One night, as sleet tapped the windows, she cornered him in the kitchen. "You seeing someone?" Casual, like asking about the Cubs standings. Connor froze, spoon midway to his mouth. "Yeah. Zachary. He's good people." Heart in his throat, waiting for the storm. She nodded, slow, eyes distant. "Be careful. Love like that. It breaks you. No venom, just weariness." Progress, or prelude to another door slam. He left on a gray Sunday, truck groaning under the load of unresolved ache. Back in the city, Zachary greeted him with takeout tie and a blowjob that left him boneless. Reclamation, raw and reverent. But the visit lingered like a bruise. Connor dove into work, sketching feverishly, portraits of Zachary midsong, cityscapes bleeding into cornfields. Art as exorcism. Spring thawed the ice, greening the parks and loosening tongues. They took a road trip up to Door County cheesy motels, bonfire makeouts, Zachary's guitar serenading the lake. "Marry me," Zachary joked one dawn, ring from a gumball machine glinting on Connor's finger. Laughter, but the word future echoed. Then betrayal slithered in. Connor's old high school buddy, Jake, supposed confidant from the straight ally days, had sniffed out his new life via Facebook tags. A drunken voicemail. "Dude, saw pics with that dude. What the fuck? Your mom's a wreck, man. She cries every night. You bail on family for this." Followed by text screenshot to her, Connor and Zachary, arms slung casual, lips bruised from a kiss. The explosion came via Aunt Rita's frantic call. "She's spiraling. Connor. Says you're dead to her. Come fix this." He drove alone this time, fury churning. Home was a war zone. Mom barricaded in her room, Bible thumping against the wall like gunfire. "Get out!" she shrieked when he knocked. "You've poisoned everything. Mom, open the damn door." Tears hot, fists clenched. Jake had no right. Their lies, all of it. But her voice wavered, the fight leaching out. Through the crack, he saw her shrunken, clutching Dad's photo like a shield. "You left me alone. After him. Now you." The words landed like shrapnel. Connor fled, tires spinning gravel into the twilight. Back in Chicago, Zachary held him through the sobs, but the rift yawned wider. Trust fractured, not in Zachary, but in the world that demanded he choose. Summer scorched in, humid and unrelenting. Gigs piled up for Zachary. A indie label scout sniffed around his demos, whispers of a tour. Connor beamed, but envy gnawed, his sketches gathering dust. Barista apron a chokehold. One night, post-argument over nothing, dishes, distance. Zachary vanished into a show, leaving Connor to prowl the apartment like a caged wolf. He found the letter in a guitar case pocket, creased, addressed to no one. "Zach, if you read this before I go, know I tried. The road's calling, but you're the melody I can't shake. Don't wait. Live loud." Signed, Your Old Man, 2012. Connor's stomach dropped. Zachary's dad abandoned him at 16, chasing Nashville dreams that fizzled into dive bar oblivion. The vulnerability Zachary armored with jokes, songs, that fierce grip in bed. It humanized him, made the love ache deeper. They hashed it out over dawn pancakes, Zachary's eyes raw. "I don't want to be him, Con. stringing you along, then ghosting when it gets heavy. You're not. Connor cupped his face, thumbs tracing stubble. We're in this. Messy. Real us. Fall painted the city gold and crimson, leaves crunching underfoot like brittle promises. Connor's birthday, 25, a milestone, unfolded in a haze of craft beer and Zachary's acoustic set at a backyard bash. Friends, new ones, queer and unapologetic, toasted with raised bottles. But Connor's phone buzzed midway, Mom's number. He stepped into the alley, heart hammering. Hello. Silence. Then a rasp. Connor. Saw the pictures. From Jake. Pause. Loaded as a storm cloud. It hurt. Seeing you happy. Without me. Tears pricked. Mom. Don't. Just. Come home. Please. Before it's too late. The line went dead. Zachary found him slumped against the wall, relaying it in whispers. Go, Zachary urged, packing his bag himself. Fix it. I'll be here. The drive was a blur of harvested fields and fading light. Elmwood welcomed him with open arms of memory, the creek where he'd skipped stones as a kid, the hill where Dad taught him to drive stick. Home loomed, porch light a hesitant beacon. Mom answered on the second knock. Thinner, grayer, but her hug fierce, bone-crushing, nearly buckled him. I'm sorry, she breathed into his shoulder. For everything. They talked till midnight, words tumbling like floodwaters. Dad's hidden affairs, not gay, but distant, broken. Her own fears of losing another piece of him. I thought if I pushed hard enough, you'd stay straight. Stay mine. Confession cracked her open, vulnerability mirroring his own. But peace was tentative. The boy, she ventured over weak coffee. Zachary. He matters to you. Yeah. Pride swelled. Tentative. He does. She nodded, lips tight. Bring him. Sometime. Let me see. It was a start. Connor left lighter, texting Zachary from the road. She's trying. We're okay. Winter circled back. A year since the slap. Zachary's EP dropped, raw tracks laced with Connor's echoes, and sold out a show at Shuba's. Backstage, sweat slick and euphoric, Zachary dropped to one knee, not joking this time. A simple silver band, engraved live loud. Marry me, hail. Make this chaos official. Tears and yes. Cheers from the crew. They planned small, a courthouse thing, then road trip honeymoon to the Keys. Mom even sent a card. Proud of you. Both. Then the call that shattered it all. Aunt Rita. Voice quaking. Connor, it's bad. Cancer. Stage 4. Docs give her months. The world grade. Mom, defiant to the end, refused chemo, God's will, but begged him home. Zachary canceled gigs, packed the Civic. We're in this, he echoed Connor's words from before. Elmwood Hospice was a hushed purgatory, beeps and antiseptic veiling the finality. Mom rallied for them, meeting Zachary in the sunroom, her hand frail in his. You make him smile, she murmured, eyes appraising. That's enough. Nights blurred. Connor at her bedside, reading Dad's old westerns. Zachary strumming soft in the hall, melodies easing her pain. Love wove through the grief. Zachary's arm his anchor. One blizzard evening, as snow sealed them in, she worsened. Connor held her hand, Zachary at his back. When she whispered, "Forgive me, son, for not seeing you." "Already did, Mom." Sobs choked him. "Both of you promise." Live loud. "For me." She slipped away at dawn, light filtering pink through frost-laced windows. Funeral was small, family. Hymns, a eulogy Connor choked through. Zachary stood sentinel, ring glinting. Back in Chicago, unpacking grief like winter clothes, a knock rattled the door. Connor opened to a courier, envelope in hand, Mom's scrawl. "Dearest Connor and Zachary, if you're reading this, I've gone ahead. Don't mourn long. Life's too short for chains. Zachary, thank you for bringing my boy home. Not with words, but with that fire in your eyes. The truth, I knew about your father. Not the affairs, but the man he loved before me. A secret he carried to the grave. I rejected you to bury it. But you're free. Marry that boy. Dance at the wedding. And know I see you now. Proud. Always." Tears stain this page, but love mends it. "Yours, Mom." Connor crumpled, Zachary pulling him close. The stranger at the door? It was her ghost, shocking them with grace. They married in spring courthouse steps, cherry blossoms shedding pink confetti. Vows exchanged under a sky vast as forgiveness, rings slipping on with whispers of live loud. And in the years that followed, records gold, sketches sold. A dog named Hank. Connor learned rejection scar fades, but love's echo endures. Human, messy, American as apple pie and backroad anthems. The wedding band weighed light on Connor's finger, a silver promise against the gold of autumn leaves carpeting Wicker Park. 6 months since Mom's letter, and its words still hummed in his veins like Zachary's low-E string, resonant, unyielding. They'd framed it, tucked in a corner of the apartment beside Dad's old fishing photo, a triptych of ghosts made gentle. Life didn't pause for loss. It barreled on, demanding you strap in or get left in the dust. Zachary's EP, Midnight Hail, had cracked the indie charts. Tracks like Porch Light Blues going viral on TikTok, kids lip-syncing in dive bars from Portland to Philly. Gigs multiplied, opening for Wilco at the Aragon, a mini-tour snaking through the Rust Belt. Connor tagged along when he could, sketching backstage, Zachary's profile sharp under stage lights, sweat beating like diamonds. "You're my muse, man," Zachary'd say, stealing a kiss mid-set changeover. Roadies whooping. But the high came with vertigo. Connor's art, once a side hustle, itched for more. He quit the Brew Haven, diving into freelance. Album covers for local bands, murals for queer youth centers. One night, buzzed on Malort and Victory, he confessed over rooftop beers, city sprawl glittering below. What if I suck? What if it's all just doodles? Zachary's laugh rumbled, arms slung heavy around his shoulders. Bullshit. Your lines got soul. Like my chords, raw, real. He nuzzled Connor's neck, breath hot. Remember Door County? You sketched that lighthouse at sunset, waves crashing like applause. That's you, seeing the storm and painting the light. Heat bloomed, not just from the chaser. They tumbled inside, bodies familiar yet electric. Zachary's mouth tracing collarbones, hands pinning wrists with that mix of tender and territorial. "I love you," Connor gasped as they crested, the words a mantra against the void. Morning brought hangovers and honesty. Zachary's tour loomed. 8 weeks. Midwest to Appalachia. A van crammed with gear and ghosts. Come for the last shows, he pleaded over scrambled eggs. Nashville. Louisville. Make it our honeymoon redux. Connor nodded, but doubt gnawed. Alone in the apartment, walls echoed emptier. He threw himself into work. A commission for a Boys Town gallery. Portraits of queer elders. Wrinkled faces etched with defiance. Eyes holding stories of Stonewall shadows and AIDS quilts. One subject, Harold, a retired activist with a voice like smoked oak, gripped his hand after the sitting. Kid, love ain't a phase. It's the fight. Don't let the world make you small. Words landed like mom's letter. Timely, cutting. Connor poured it into canvas. Unyielding, a triptych of intertwined figures against a prairie storm. Golds and grays bleeding into rainbows. The opening drew a crowd, critics murmuring visceral, collectors snapping photos. Sold 3 pieces, pocketed enough for a deposit on a studio space in Pilsen. Zachary called from a Toledo motel, voice crackling static. Heard about the show. Superstar. Proud as hell. Miss you. Bed's too big without your snoring. Flatterer. Connor grinned, sketching Zachary's silhouette from memory. Hurry back. Got plans for that king size. Tour's end exploded in Nashville. Honky-tonk haze. Zachary's set closing with an acoustic cover of Wagon Wheel. Crowd singing along like a revival. Connor waited wingside, heart swelling as Zachary dedicated the encore. For the man who hauled my ass out of the bottle, eyes locking across the footlights. Backstage, they fucked in the green room, door rattling with distant applause, laughter muffled against skin. Homecoming was domestic bliss. Grocery runs to Mariano's, lazy Sundays binging The Bear. Zachary's head in Connor's lap while he strummed half-formed ballads. But undercurrents stirred. Zachary's label pushed for a full album, deadlines looming like thunderheads. Late nights in the studio, really their kitchen table, laptops humming, left him frayed, snapping over misplaced pics or cold takeout. One argument boiled over reheated burritos. You're ghosting me, Zach. Like your old man. Words slipped. Venomous. Zachary's face shuddered. Fork clattering. Low blow. Con. I'm grinding for us. He stormed to the fire escape. Cigarette glowing like accusation. Guilt soured Connor's gut. He followed. Blanket draped over shoulders against the chill. Shit. I'm sorry. Scared. Is all. This us, it's everything. Don't want it slipping. Zachary exhaled smoke. I softening. Won't. Promise. They made up slow. Apologies whispered in the dark. Bodies reaffirming what words fumbled. Winter bid again. Holidays a minefield of memory. They drove to Elmwood for Christmas, first since the funeral. Aunt Rita's spread. Ham glazed sticky, pie crusts flaking, kids shrieking under the tree. Mom's absence hollowed the room, but her letter propped on the mantel like a sentinel, live loud. Zachary charmed Rita with tales of tour mishaps, a flat tire in Ohio, serenading a diner waitress for free pie, earning belly laughs in seconds. Graveside, snow dusting the stone. Connor knelt, Zachary's gloved hand on his neck. She'd like this, he murmured. You, steady as she wasn't. Team effort, Zachary squeezed. Back at Rita's, eggnog flowing. Jake slunk in awkward, eyes downcast. Heard about everything. Sorry, man. For the texts. Was drunk. Stupid. Connor tensed. Old wounds itching. Zachary's grip tightened under the table. Water under the bridge, Connor said. Voice even. Just think before you hit send. Jake nodded, retreating to the eggnog. Later, washing dishes, Rita cornered him. That one's a keeper. Eyes like your dad's, kind, but won't take shit. Heat pricked Connor's cheeks. Yeah. Lucky me. New Year dawned crisp. Resolutions half forgotten by Valentine's. Zachary surprised him. A weekend at the Drake, lake views and room service. Red rose petals scattered like shrapnel. They danced in socks to Calterwall on the Bluetooth. Zachary's chin hooked over his shoulder. Remember the first kiss? Taqueria Wall. Tasting like spice and sin. Connor chuckled, swaying. You were all swagger. Thought you'd bolt after one date. Never. Kiss deepened. Hands wandering. They christened the balcony. City lights winking approval. Wind whipping laughter away. But spring unearthed rot. Zachary's old bandmate, Dex, tattooed drummer with a grin like trouble. Crash town. Crashing their couch uninvited. Beers turned to shots. Stories escalating. Groupie flings. Trash tour buses. That one night in Detroit where Dex borrowed Zachary's girl. Past tense. But the air thickened. Connor played cool. But jealousy festered. Dex's easy bro hugs. Inside jokes laced with remember whens. One dawn. Nursing coffee while they snored. He rifled Dex's duffel, habit from mom's paranoia days. Tucked in a side pocket. A baggie of white powder, edges frayed. Heart sinking, he confronted Zachary in the bathroom, door ajar. What's this? Zach? Coke? With him around. Zachary's face drained. Not mine. Dex's mess. I cut that shit years ago, you know? But he's here. Bringing it here. Voice rising. Betrayal sharp. Our home. Our life. Dex slunk in. Sheepish. My bad. Con. Habit from the road. I'll bounce. He did. Van peeling out by noon. Zachary paced. Fury at his friend mingling with hurt. You think I'd relapse? After everything. Didn't think you'd let him in. Either. Connor's chest heaved. Boundaries. Zach. We set M for a reason. Silence stretched. Taut as guitar string. Maybe I need space, Zachary muttered. Clear my head. The slam of the door echoed the one from Elmwood years back. Connor collapsed on the couch. Phone clutched like talisman. Texts flew. Sorry. Love you. Come back. Hours ticked to days. Zachary holed up at a buddy's. Radio silence broken by a single call. Tour starts next week. Need to focus. We'll talk after. Devastated. Connor wandered Boys Town haunts. Steamworks barstools cold without Zachary's warmth. Harold from the portraits bought him a drink. Sage eyes piercing. Fights happen. Kid. Love's not linear. It's a goddamn polka. Advice stuck. But ache lingered. Connor channeled it into art. A massive canvas. Fracture. Two figures entwined yet cracking. Shards of color bleeding into void. Gallery owner snapped it up for a queer art fest in Provincetown. Tour postcards trickled. Scribbled lyrics from Cleveland. A blurry selfie from Cincy, Zachary's smile forced. Connor replied with sketches. Love notes tucked in envelopes. Mid-May. A package arrived. Zachary's EP on vinyl. Signed to my anchor. Sorry I rocked the boat. Home soon. Reunion was airport chaos, O'Hare bustle. Zachary emerging rumple-haired. Guitar case slung. They collided. Kiss desperate. Tears salting lips. Missed you, Zachary breathed. Won't happen again. Forgiven. Connor tugged him to baggage claim. But Dex? Banned. For life. Deal. Laughter bubbled. Relief sweet. Summer sizzled. Reclaiming rhythm. Album recording ramped. Zachary in the studio daily. Connor tagging for moral support. Sketching engineers mid-mix. One track. Truth at the door. Poured out. Lyrics of rejection. Redemption. A stranger's knock changing everything. Mom's letter, Zachary explained. Voice thick. Hit me hard. Wrote it for her and us. Connor's throat closed. Play it for me. Acoustic in the apartment. Sunset gilding the walls. Zachary's voice wove pain into poetry. Chords resolving like embraces. Ended with a hush. Eyes meeting. That's us. Shocked into grace. Tears fell. They made love on the rug. Slow as the songs fade. Bodies hymns of amends. Fall brought harvest. Album drop party at Empty Bottle. Crowd electric. Connor's murals debuted in a Pilsen alley. Queer icons against skyline. Vibrant defiance. Mom's anniversary. They drove to Elmwood. Flowers on the stone. Picnic of her favorite lemon bars. To living loud. Zachary toasted with a flask. Damn right. Connor leaned into him. Wind whispering approval. But life, that sly bastard, had one more twist cued. Late November. Zachary winced during a pickup game, hoops in the park. All elbows and trash talk. Pulled something, he shrugged off Connor's worry. Old man bones. Doc visit revealed fracture. Stress in the wrist. From years of strumming fury. 6 weeks off guitar. Panic flickered in Zachary's eyes. Career teetering. You're still you, Connor soothed. Ice pack in hand. Voice. Words, plenty to sell. Easy for you. Zachary's laugh was hollow. Art's forgiving. Music, one slip, and poof. They navigated physio sessions. Co-written lyrics on voice memos. Zachary guesting vocals on a collab track. Connor steady cooking, cuddling, reminding. Remember the letter? Don't let the world make you small. Applies to you too. Gratitude deepened their bond. Touches lingering. Nights tangled fierce. Healing hand mirrored mending hearts. By New Year's, wrist braced but strumming tentative, Zachary booked a low-key gig open mic at a cozy Andersonville spot. Connor front row, heart in throat as first chords rang true. Crowd hushed, then erupted. Backstage, Zachary crushed him against the wall. Couldn't without you. Team, Connor echoed, lips claiming. Spring bloomed anew, promises kept. They eyed a bigger place, Logan Square brownstone. Room for a studio and guest for Rita's visits. Art Fest in Soho beckoned Connor. A South by Southwest slot for Zachary. Horizons widened. Love the compass. One rainy eve. Sorting mail. Connor unearthed a faded envelope. Postmark Elmwood. Aunt Rita's script. Found this in your mom's attic. Thought you'd want it. Inside, yellowed photo. Dad young. Arm around a man, dark hair. Lake blue eyes. Back. Summer '89. My truth. Hidden. Love you always, even if I couldn't say. Dad. Shock rippled. Zachary peered over shoulder. Holy shit. He was gay. Or bi. Whatever him. Tears welled. Pieces slotting. Mom's rejection. Her letter's confession. Echoes of a cycle broken. Zachary pulled him close. Explains a lot. And nothing. You're you free. They framed it beside Mom's letter. Gallery of truths unveiled. The knock that started it all? Dad's ghost at their door. Shocking with silent grace. Years spun. Album platinums. Gallery shows in L.A. A rescue pup named Echo yipping at squirrels. They mentored queer youth workshops. Zachary's songs in coming out playlists. Connor's murals mapping safe spaces. Elmwood visits normalized. Rita's barbecues. Jake's awkward amends turning genuine. On their 5th anniversary, courtyard vows renewed. Cherry blossoms eternal, Connor raised a toast. To shocks that heal. To us. Zachary's grin flashed. Live loud. Baby. And they did American Dream. Queered and unbowed. Anniversaries had a way of peeling back layers. Like onion skins slick with sentiment. 5 years in. And Connor still marveled at the fit. Zachary's chaos to his quiet. Their lives a braided river carving through Chicago's concrete veins. The brownstone they'd snagged. A creaky Victorian with turret views of the skyline. Felt less like walls and more like skin. Scarred but breathing. Expanded with each season. That morning, rain pattered the leaded windows as Connor stirred oatmeal. Echo the mutt circling hopeful at his feet. Zachary shuffled in. Hair a riot. Wrist brace shed but fingers flexing cautious. Smells like heaven, he mumbled, pecking Connor's neck before commandeering the coffee pot. Or Quaker oats with raisins. Connor smirked. Plating. Big day. Your folks flying in. Zachary's parents. Divorced dynamos from Gary, Indiana were en route for the vow renewal. Mom Kane, a steel mill nurse turned yoga instructor, with hugs like bear traps. Dad a union rep, gruff but gooey over pie. They'd embraced Zachary's coming out at 18. No drama, just pass the potatoes. Envy had nipped at Connor once. Why couldn't mine? But time sanded the edge. Landing at 11. Rita too, driving up with her brood. Zachary scrolled emails. Brow furrowing. Labels sniffing for Tour 2.0. Europe. Maybe. You game. Connor's spoon paused. His own star ascended. A solo exhibit at the MCA. Echoes of rejection. Canvases born from Mom's letter. Dad's photo. Sold out opening with collectors from New York. But globe-trotting? If it fits the schedule. Got that mural gig in San Fran come fall. Deal. Zachary's grin dissolved doubts, sealing it with a kiss tasting of cream and commitment. The airport reunion was a whirlwind. Rita's minivan convoy. Kane clan piling in with luggage and lasagna layers. Echo slobbered greetings. Kids squealing. Back at the brownstone. Chaos reigned. Corkage popped. Rita's stories of Elmwood gossip flowing freer than wine. Your mom's old bridge club still clucks about you too. Those city boys, like your Bonnie and Clyde. Laughter rippled. But Connor caught Zachary's glance. Grateful. Grounded. Dinner sprawled. Catered Italian. Candles flickering on the dining table they'd refinished themselves. Toasts circled. Rita's teary to family. Found and fought for. Mrs. Kane's, may your love outlast my bad knees. Bedtime hush fell late. Guests bunked in air mattresses and the turret guest room. Zachary and Connor retreated to their suite, clawfoot tub steaming, bubbles foaming. "Good day," Zachary sighed, sinking in, pulling Connor between his knees. "Perfect." Hands lathered soap, tracing ribs, dipping lower. Water sloshed as mouths met, slow burn building to gasps. "Love you," Zachary murmured against throat, hips arching. Release came shuddering, echoes fading to contented sighs. Renewal dawned crisp. Lincoln Park Conservatory lush with orchids and ferns. A glasshouse Eden. Efficient was Harold, silver-haired and beaming, voice booming vows they'd tweaked. In storms and silence, I choose you. Live loud, love fierce, rings exchanged, matching now, etched with waves, amid cheers and confetti bursts. Rita's kids pelted them with petals, echo barked accompaniment. Reception spilled to a nearby pavilion, food trucks slinging gourmet tacos, Zachary's playlist thumping, Springsteen to Sam Smith. Dancing barefoot on grass, Connor twirled Zachary under string lights, world narrowing to sweat-damp skin and bass pulse. 5 years, he whispered. Feels like yesterday's hookup. Zachary's eyes sparkled. Best mistake I never regretted. Dip, kiss, applause. Guests trickled homeward, Canes to the Amtrak, Rita southward with leftovers. Alone again, brownstone sighing in relief, they uncorked champagne on the fire escape. City hummed below, L train rumbling, distant sirens a lullaby. What's next? Connor mused, head on Zachary's shoulder. World tour? Dog army? Your call. Artist. Laughter bubbled. But under stars, Connor's mind wandered to Dad's photo, the man in the snapshot, unnamed, puzzle piece adrift. Monday blues hit hard, emails piling, deadlines nipping. Connor dove into San Fran prep, sketches for the Castro District mural, rainbow warriors against fog-rolled hills. Zachary studio bound, laying tracks for the new record, Shockwave Serenade, themes of revelation and resilience. Midweek, a manila envelope thudded through the mail slot, no return address, postmark faded. Connor sliced it open. Stack of letters, brittle as autumn leaves, tied with twine. Top note, typed, from Elias Hale's effects. Discovered in safety deposit box. For Connor, his legacy. Heart thudding, he untied. First, Dad's handwriting, looping familiar. June 15th, 1990. Dearie, your laugh haunts the mill shifts. Can't breathe without it. But she needs the ring, the house. Forgive my cowardice. Love, Eli. Elias. The man in the photo. Connor's fingers trembled, flipping pages, decades of stolen notes, pressed flowers from Lake Michigan shores, a locket chain with intertwined initials. Dad's secret life, parallel to the one Mom knew, picnics coded as fishing trips, absences blamed on overtime. Last letter, undated. If this finds you, son, know your old man loved deeply, wrongly by some lights. The bottle won because I hid. Don't. Be loud for us both. Dad. Tears blurred ink. Zachary found him cross-legged on the foyer rug, papers splayed. Con? Shit. What's this? Dad's truth. Voice cracking. Connor handed the bundle. Zachary read silent, jaw tightening, then pulled him into a hug bone deep. Fuck. Man, he was trapped. Like she tried to trap you. Yeah. Connor exhaled, weight lifting fractional. Explains her fear. The rejection, it was projection. All the way down. They sat hours. Piecing narrative. Elias. A closeted steelworker. Dad. Torn between duty and desire. Mom. Complicit in the veil. Unraveling when Connor lifted his own. Call Rita, Zachary suggested. See if she knew. She did, whispered confession over speaker. Your gran told me, after the funeral. Elias left her once. For a month in 91. Came back crying. I kept it buried for her. Closure bittersweet. Connor scanned letters for the exhibit, digital facsimiles, anonymized, woven into Echo's coda. Opening night, gallery packed, critics lauding layered vulnerability, queer elders nodding recognition. One attendee, silver fox with dad's jawline, Elias's nephew, tracked via obituary, gripped his hand. He spoke of you. My boy'll be braver, sobs choked. He was right. Summer scorched. Murals blooming. San Francisco Castro a riot of color. Connor's ladders scraping sky. Zachary tagged along. Busking Golden Gate sunsets. Guitar case fat with tips. Tour kicked off Labor Day East Coast crawl. Connor flying for weekends. Sketching hotel rooms and dive bars. One Philly night. Post set high. Zachary proposed expansion. Adopt? Foster? Echo needs a sidekick. Connor's beer paused. Kids? Us? Why not? We're solid. Teach 'em loud love. Idea simmered. Agencies consulted. But fall brought frost. Zachary's voice strained mid-Boston gig. Nodules from tour grind. Doc ordered rest. Cancelled date stung. Label grumbling. You're enough, Connor insisted. Throat lozenges and tea his arsenal. Voice heals. We're not rushing babies on a broken cord. Gratitude sparked intimacy. Massages turning erotic. Zachary's submission a gift, vulnerable, vocal. You ground me, he gasped, arching under hands. Winter whispered in. Holidays hybrid. Kane clan in Chicago. Rita zooming turkey carve. New Year's Eve. Blizzard bound. They slow danced to vinyl. Dad's letters on the mantle. Talismans. Spring greened. Voice mended. South by Southwest dazzled. Zachary's set slang. Industry buzz for Europe leg. Connor's Bay Area follow-up. Queer history walk. Guided tours past his murals. Then betrayals echo. Decks resurfaced. Email innocuous. In town. Clean now. Coffee? Oh you. Zachary wary. But Connor pushed. Second chances. Like mom. Like us. Meet up at a neutral cafe, decks gaunt. As clear. A chip jingling. Fucked up bad. Lost my kit. My girl. But climbing back. Apologies flowed. Genuine. Zachary thawed. Clapping shoulder. Good on you, man. Doors cracked. Not wide. Decks nodded. Vanishing into the throng. Trust rebuilt. Fragile but forward. Summer solstice. Agency call. Match teen foster. 17. Trans kid named Riley. Fleeing Bible Belt rejection. Home visit. Wary eyes. Hoodie armor. Echo sniff tentative. Zachary cracked jokes. Connor shared sketches. Weeks blurred. Therapy sessions. School enrollment. Late night talks on the turret. Riley's laugh emerged slow. like dawn. You guys. Real? Not like my last placement. Real as rain, Zachary quipped. And twice as messy. Bond forged. Family fractal. Exhibit 2 at MCA. Fractured legacies. Dad's letters centerpiece. Press swarmed. NPR spot. Zachary guesting harmonica. Fall tour Europe. London fog. Berlin clubs. Paris cafes. Connor joined for Paris, Eiffel glow. Sane strolls. Zachary busking for crepes. World's ours, he murmured. Hand in Connor's. Back stateside. Thanksgiving. Riley's first. Elmwood road trip. Rita's table groaned. Graveside. Kid laid a drawing. Mom's stone wreathed in rainbows. Winter's gift. Adoption papers signed. Riley, 18 now. Chose them Hail Cain hyphenate. Anniversary 6. Conservatory redux. Riley best person. Echo ring bearer. Vows evolved. In chaos and quiet. With our kiddo we choose. Love. Expanded. Echoed louder. Parenting cracked open new fault lines. But the good kind. Earthquakes reshaping terrain into valleys of joy. Riley settled like a puzzle piece long missing. Their sharp wit and sketchbook habit mirroring Connor's own. Mornings meant 3-alarm chaos. Zachary brewing French press strong enough to wake the dead. Connor packing lunches with notes. Slay the day. Kid. Riley grumbling over eyeliner in the turret mirror. High school proved battleground. Lakeview's diversity a bomb after Riley's Georgia hell. But microaggressions lingered. Teachers misgendering. Locker room whispers. Connor advocated fierce PTA meetings. Emails CC'd to the principal, while Zachary channeled it into lyrics, Hormone Highway. A teen anthem dropped as a single. Streaming spikes from Gen Z. Uncle Z. You're viral. Riley teased over dinner. Vegan stir-fry. Compromise cuisine. But that bridge? Cheesy AF. Zachary clutched chest. ET2. Progeny? It's poetry. Laughter table shaking. Echo begging scraps. Nights. When Riley crashed early. Connor and Zachary debriefed on the couch. Wine loosening tongues. Proud of them, Connor said. Feet in lap. And us. Navigating this shitshow. Zachary's thumb circled ankle. Team Hail Cain. Unstoppable, but undercurrents tugged. Connor's career crested. Guggenheim Fellowship. Residency in Marfa. Vast Texas skies for desert disclosures. Exploring hidden queer histories. 6 months solo loomed. Riley midway through junior year. Go, Zachary urged, packing his bag. Create. We'll hold the fort. Separation ached. Skype calls glitchy. Riley's updates. Chem test aced. Crushed that creep in debate. Zachary's voice memos husky with tour teases. Marfa's isolation amplified. Sun-bleached trailers. Prada storefront mirage. Nights sketching under Milky Way blaze. Letters to Dad's ghost. Wish you could have seen this freedom. Exhibit preview Drew Buzz NYT feature. From rejection to revelation. Returnee heroes welcome. Airport flash mob. Riley's banner Dad 2's back. Zachary's kiss devouring. Fall deepened. Riley's prom quandary. Date drama. Dress hunts in boys section. They tag-teamed. Connor alterations. Zachary DJ lessons. Night of. Kid preened in the kitchen. Navy tux popping against binder flat chest. Nervous. Terrified. Grin crooked. But hot. Right? Smoking. Hugs fierce. Zachary slipped a condom packet. Practical dad move earning eye roll. Post-prom brunch debrief. Danced like a boss. Kiss Jamie. Non-binary cutie from art club. Pride swelled. Details later. Pancakes now. Winter holidays amplified. Kane Rita Fusion Fest. Menorah beside tree. Riley's Jewish bio dad nod. Snowball fights in the yard. Zachary bested by teens. Connor refereeing with Coco. New Year birthed ambition. Zachary's full tour. Serenade Roadshow. Amphitheaters coast to coast. Riley Summer Roadie. Connor co-designed merch. Tease with live loud script. Dad's initials subtle weave. Prep chaos. Van mods. Set lists tweaked. One rehearsal. Riley on backup vox, voice cracking sweet, Zachary teared. Our mini-me's got pipes. Spring bloomed tourside. Phoenix heat. Riley charming fans. Connor flying joins, Vegas slots. Nashville honky-tonks. One Austin night. Dex reappeared, sober sponsor now. Gig security. Water under. He toasted. Past buried. But fracture faulted mid-tour LA. Finale. Zachary's voice shreds. Tour fatigue. Old nodules whispering. Our laryngitis. Shows scrapped. Hotel hush. Ice packs and whispers. Riley paced. Dad's wrecked. Fans raging online. Connor mediated. Label PR spin. Social posts rest equals better roars. Zachary isolated. Guitar untouched. Failing you both. Bull. Connor straddled lap. Fierce. Healing's the gig now. Riley coaxed with bad jokes. Playlists of comedy pods. Weeks blurred. Vocal coach Zoom. Homebound brownstone. Echotherapy dog. Curling paws on chest. Resilience rebuilt. Stripped down acoustic tour. Intimate clubs. Riley emceed. Connor stage managed. Family caravan. Crowds intimate. Cheers thunderous. One Detroit opener. Elias's nephew guested harmonica. Nod to roots. Summer solstice. Tour wrap. Backyard bash. Bonfire crackling. Riley announced. College apps in RISD. Art like pops. Cheers. Hugs. Our prodigies flying. Fall ushered change. Riley dormbound. Providence autumn's calling. Drop-off teary. Dorm fairy lights. Connor's mini fridge stocked. Zachary's mixtape for homesick nights. Empty nest echoed. But opportunity beckoned. Connor's Marfa follow-up. Berlin residency. Wall shadows for borderlines. Zachary collab album. Duo project. Queer folk punk. Packing duel. Suitcases mingled. Goodbyes to Echo. Rita's boarding. Airport kiss marathon. 6 months. Letters. Like dad. Emails count. Zachary winked. Love you louder. Berlin's grit gripped. Graffiti alleys. Clubs pulsing techno. History heavy. Studio shares with German artists. Connor's murals on abandoned bunkers. Queer migrations etched in spray. Zachary's tracks shipped digital. Verses traded. Your city's cold, but your voice warms. Mid-residency shock. Email from unknown. Elias's sister. Great aunt unearthed via nephew. Family reunion. Milwaukee. Christmas. He left stories for you. Heart raced. Forwarded to Zachary. Road trip. Truth hunt. Affirmative. Flights rerouted. Residency cut short. Milwaukee in. Snow dusted. Aunt Greta waiting 80. Sharp as tacks. Eyes dad's blue. Over glue wine. Tales tumbled. Elias the dreamer. Factory shifts funding secret dates. Dad the steady. Stolen weekends in Door County cabins. He loved your mom. In his way. But Eli? Soulmate. Photos spilled. Young lovers picnicking. Elias's laugh captured mid-bite. Letters reciprocated, Elias to Dad. Your boy's my light. Raise him free. Tears flowed. Greta hugged. You're the bridge. Proud. Christmas fused. Berlin flights to Chicago. Then Milwaukee meld. Canes. Rita's. New kin. Table groaned pierogi and lax. Toasts to Elias. Riley zoomed from dorm. Ghost fam? Epic. Winter thawed revelations. Spring. Duo album dropped. Knox and Echoes. Collabs with Riley Vox cameos. Charts climbed. Grammy whispers. Summer road trip. Door County redux. Cabin rental, Elias's old haunt. Hikes to lighthouses. Bonfires with esmores and songs. One sunset. Connor sketched Zachary against waves. Full circle. Damn right. Kiss salt-laced. Fall college breaks. Riley home. Tales of crushes and critiques. Empty less empty. Betrayals ghost stirred. Dex's lapse. Relapse tweet. Fate. Zachary called. Cut ties. For good. Wise. Connor squeezed phone. Boundaries hold. Winter's gift. Riley's exhibit freshman show. Connor's influence clear. Pride paternal. Anniversary 7. Paris return. Sane dinner. Vows. Through ghosts and growth. You, love, layered, resounded. Time, that relentless curator, framed their decade like a gallery wall, snapshots of scars healed, horizons chased. 7 years wed, and the brownstone brimmed. Riley's room a revolving gallery of dorm halls, Echo's gray muzzle a testament to lazy afternoons. Connor's Berlin murals toured virtually, VR queer history. Schools worldwide, while Zachary's duo album snagged a Grammy nod. Red carpet a blur of flashes and flutes. Morning routines evolved, yoga with Mrs. Kane via Zoom, Zachary's reluctant downward dog earning eye rolls. Coffee-fueled critiques of Riley's latest thesis sketches. Bold lines. Kid. Connor noted over bagels. But soften the shadows. Let light breathe. Riley grinned. Marker cap teeth. Says the guy who paints rejection in neon. Zachary chuckled. Pouring thirds. Pots and kettles. Progeny. Life's pulse quickened. Europe tour redux. Family edition. Riley spring break tagalong. Backpacking Berlin bunkers post-show. Pop's murals live. They enthused. Camera clicking Elias echoes. One Amsterdam canal night. High on stroopwafels and stage adrenaline. Zachary pulled Connor aside. Crowd milling. Bikes whirring. Idea. Big one. Spill. Wind off water. Chill nipping. Baby 2. IVF. Surrogate, whatever. Riley's launched. Echo needs a rival. Heart stuttered. Kids plural? At this stage. Why not? Love multiplies. Eyes earnest. Ring glinting. Talk to Riley, green light. Emotion surged, fear. Fire. Hell yes. Process plunged. Agencies. Matches. Ethics debates over pierogi with Greta. Milwaukee Zoom. Surrogate found. Alex. Queer mom from Portland. Easy laugh and shared playlists. Consults. Contracts. Hopes hatching. Summer simmered waiting. Tour wrap in Portland. Meet Alex. Coffee shop vibe. Ultrasound teases. Teams growing, Zachary toasted, hand on Connor's knee. Fall fertility tango, injections, transfers, beta calls. Positive twins, boy-girl. Ultrasounds wombs dancing. Riley dubbed cool aunt/uncle. Echo oblivious. Pregnancy shadowed joy. Alex's morning sickness mirroring Zachary's old tour hangovers. Connor's anxiety spiking. What if history repeats? Rejections Gene? Stop, Zachary soothed. Nesting nursery. Gender-neutral blues. Guitars and canvases. We're the rewrite. Winter swelled bellies and hearts. Holidays hybrid. Canes cooing over bumps. Rita knitting booties. Greta sent Elias's locket. For the littles. Legacy chain. New Year birthed blizzard. But home warm, fire crackling. Board games with Riley homebound. Spring quickened. Alex's showers. Baby names brainstorm. Asher for boy, Elias nod. Nova for girl, starburst hope. 1 May gale. Contractions hit early NICU scare. Twins tiny but tenacious. Hospital vigil. Zachary pacing. Connor sketching tiny fists. Riley live streaming prayers. Dawn broke stable. Asher and Nova. Wrinkled miracles. Latching fierce. Alex beamed. Signing papers, open adoption. Family fluid. Homecoming parade. Brownstone festooned. Echo sniffing cribs. Sleepless symphony. Feeds at 2 a.m. Zachary's lullabies hoarse. Connor's arms acheful. Parenting duo doubled. Tag team diapers. Riley weekend warrior. Greta's pierogi deliveries. Twins firsts. Gurgles. Grabs milestones magnified. Summer solstice. Tour hiatus. Backyard baptism. Secular splash pool. Elias's letters read aloud. Be free mantra. Fall frenzy. Riley's senior year. Twins teething tyrants. Connor's exhibit multiplied. Family portraits. Twins handprints in paint. Sold out. Proceeds to queer youth. 1 October Eve. Dex's final echo. Obituary share. Overdose. Sober slip. Zachary silent. Then, should have pulled harder. Forgiven ghosts, Connor murmured. We tried. Winter's hush. Twins' first snow. Sleds and scarves. Holidays epic. Canes. Rita's. Greta in from Milwaukee. Table a babble of languages and loves. Anniversary 8. Conservatory. Infants in carriers. Riley best again. Vows voluminous. From two to tribe. You anchor. Spring sprouted. Asher's crawl. Nova's babble. Riley's graduation RISD bound. Captoss triumphant. Betrayal's last whisper. Jake's wedding invite, straight-laced. But note, sorry again. You've built beautiful. Inspires. RSVP yes, closure capstone. Summer road trip. Door County full fam. Cabins clustered. Bonfires with babies. Guitars for ghosts. Fall college send-off redux. Riley East. Tears and toasts. Proud parents. They hugged. Winter gifted Grammy win. Knox and Echo's best folk. Red carpet. Twins in bow ties. Nova flower crown. Acceptance Zachary's. For the knocks that open doors, Mom hail. Dad. Elias. And you. Con my truth. Tears televised. Anniversary 9. Paris Redux. Riley babysitting. Surrogate Alex wine night. 10. Milestone Gala. Brownstone Bash. All kin convened. Vows vowed. Decade danced. Decades more. Toasts toasted. Riley's You Queered Normal Thanks. Twins Gurgles Chorus. Greta's Elias Smiles. Dance Floor Packed. Connor and Zachary Center. Slow Sway. Echoes of First Taqueria Wall. Shock Still Fresh. Zachary Whispered. Every Day. Kiss Sealed. Loud as Life. Years Layered. Twins Toddling Tours. Riley's MFA Murals Manhattan Bound. Albums Gold. Exhibits Global. Echo Past Gentle. Urn on Mantle Beside Letters. 15th. Courthouse Circle. Now Courthouse Close Vows Vast. Family Vast. Rejection Scar. Faint Tattoo. Stories Inc. Truth's Knock. Opened Worlds. Human. Heartfelt. Horizon-Bound American Queer Saga. Unapologetic Anthem.